Hi, welcome to another episode of the BreakDown podcast with myself, Tony DADA, your soul brother, and young Natty, who is the reason why we're doing these blogs. And I'm actually starting to like them, actually. I really am. And I'm seeing some comments and feedback. So, hence the reason why we're doing more and more. So, the purpose and the reason behind doing these blogs is to really give some content to some of the writings that I do periodically, to give some of the deeper context, right?
Yes, yep. And we'll be focusing on your most recent blog where you titled it How to Hold a Vision Until It Manifests. And you shared a very personal story with you and your son Josh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it was kind of controversial, actually. It's deep because I really haven't shared it in that kind of context for a while. But funny enough, I was just having a session with someone today who heard me when I first shared that story, and she shared that for her it helped her in her overcoming her relationships or her relationship that had gone sour. And I mention that because we're living in a time now where everyone is looking at abundance and success and wealth and all of that kind of stuff, which is great because, you know, there's never been a better time to amass those things. But what I've come to realize is that there's also a lot of people in pain. Yeah. And what people don't recognize is that from a spiritual law perspective, you can't really enjoy the fruits of the success if you haven't addressed your areas of pain. Yeah. Or at least begun that healing process. And a lot of people are masking them, and that's why I thought it'd be worth sharing, because there's a lot of ladies out there who think that, you know, they're the only ones that are going through stuff. Yeah. And the truth of the matter is, we're all here on a spiritual journey to learn life lessons, and so as it happens for women, it also happens for men. So that's why I shared the story. And so I guess you're going to want me to go into it a little bit, right?
Yeah, just a little bit.
Okay. So it was kind of, you remember, it was around me celebrating my birthday. That's really where it stemmed from. Yeah. And, you know, my son surprised me. We went out, took me out to Claridge's, you know, and it was really nice, you know. But as we were sat there having lunch, I just got reflecting about the fact that it was about 28 years ago when literally one day he was just taken out of my life, like crazy. And so I was sitting there reflecting that, look at that, like we nearly missed all of this. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And so that's what really prompted me to share the story that 28 years ago, thereabouts, you know, our relationship, his mother and I had broken down, and in her infinite wisdom, she decided one day, without letting me know, to just take him to another country. You know, and I'll go to pick up my son, and I'm told by his little sister, he ain't here. Where is he? He's in Africa. What do you mean he's in Africa? You know, I'm laughing about it now, but can you imagine? You know, it's just because any man who wants to be a real man is going to want to be a father, and that was probably some of the most traumatic time that I ever experienced. But the good thing is we were able to salvage that scenario. He came back, and I began to have contact with him, and eventually, you know, both he and his sister, you know, lived with me, and I raised them as a single parent. But I was sharing that story to just let people know that the only reason and the only way that I was able to go through the madness, and I'm speaking out here to the brothers too, is that don't just be trying to get with any chick like that. The truth of the matter is, you have to have your vision. It's the vision that I held of wanting my children to be able to have a relationship with themselves, and that was actually what I was fighting for. Yeah. I didn't need them to have to stay with me, but what I wanted, because their mother wanted them to be separate, or that's what was happening. I'm like, that can't happen, because that is not in accordance with my vision, and what I believe. When the children grow up, if I allowed that to happen, they'd be like, what was you doing? You know? Yeah. And so I was really sharing that story for brothers and sisters alike, in the sense to say, brothers, when you hold a vision, when you have a vision, and you honor that vision, and that vision honors you, it enables you to find out about yourself. You find out about your strengths. You find out about your abilities, your capacities, and in truth, that whole situation helped me find my purpose.
Yeah.
My purpose being that till this day, my whole thing is about fighting for those who do not have a voice, for the voiceless. My not-for-profit organization born out of that whole scenario was called Urban Voice, giving young people the opportunity across London and then across the country to have a voice, you know.
Yeah. And that ties in very well with point one, because you gave some tips as to how to hold a vision till it manifests. And point one was to say, why is it important? And who else does it benefit? You said to add other people to your vision. And in your case, you wanted a certain life for your children, and you said, this is what I want, but you added them and the brother and sisterhood of them growing up together to that vision.
Absolutely, it's really
takes us to point two.
It's really important because so we have now that like I said, everybody wants to amass things and be successful and stuff like that. And when I talk about a vision, sometimes people can get that misconstrued and think about, you know, what is my vision, and it's all about me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But what I found is that life doesn't work like that. When you get the best results is when your vision is inclusive. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Inclusive in the sense that you're not the sole beneficiary. It benefits others. Now, as a father, you know, if I'm wanting to make money so that I can provide for my children, well, my vision is my children. But the blessing has to come through me. So I get the wealth, or I get the abundance by default as a result of pursuing that vision. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
As opposed to just wanting to get it, you know, for my sole benefit.
Yeah. And that leads us to point two, which is focus on your vision.
Yeah. When we say focus on your vision, it's like, the analogy that I give is like a pregnant woman. You know, you have to incubate that vision, meaning that you got to be thinking about that, you know, 365, you know, completely on that thing. Night and day, this is what you're thinking about. This is what drives you. You see your vision more clearly. So you see your vision more clearly through your mind's eye than you do seeing what's around you with your natural eyes.
Okay, so is that where the reticular activating system comes into play? So is that when you create your vision board and you want to ensure that you are engaging or furnishing your mind with the things that you want to see on a daily basis?
Well, I mean, the reticular activating system, for those who don't know, it's the piece of your brain that kind of sifts out information that you don't need. Because if it wasn't there, literally your brain would kind of blow up because it's just too much information coming in. So yes, that plays a part in it, but it's really about absorbing and really immersing yourself in that vision, yeah, night and day, as well as you know, we talk about, it's not just establishing the vision, which is the right brain activity, but it's then supporting that vision or those visions, because you know we talk about 5 visions. It's about supporting those visions with the necessary goals that are going to move you towards achieving or reaching that vision. And that's the important thing. You know, there's one thing kind of daydreaming. I could have sat daydreaming that I want to see my son again. Yeah. But it's never going to happen like that. I had to hold the vision, and then I had to take action. And I had to take action from a point of view of, I believed that however small it was, in terms of taking a step, it was a step in the right direction. Yeah. And I had to have that faith. So I talk about faith in action. Yeah. So every step I took, I truly believed that it was going to bring that vision one step closer, meaning that my children were going to be able to see one another.
Yeah. Okay. Makes sense. And your next point, you said, surround yourself with like-minded people.
Yeah, that's really important, and I think we know that in business. But I think the reason why I wanted to do this particular episode was to let people understand that many people don't recognize that we are spiritual beings, holistic. So what goes on in your business life affects your relationships. What goes on with your money affects your health. Do you know what I'm saying? And it's about understanding that all of these areas need to be looked at simultaneously. You need to look after all aspects of yourself. And I think I kind of veered off the question a little bit, have I?
No, because I did say it's around like-minded people.
Yeah, so like-minded people means that you need to ideally be around people who equally have a vision, who are equally driven. Because you see, when you hold a vision and you're honoring your vision, it pulls you. Do you understand? Like, you can't just be mucking about. It pulls you forward. So you're moving at pace, you're moving at speed, you're on things, you're doing stuff, you're not just chilling. And if you surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing, that creates a power, that creates an energy, that creates, it creates a good environment, a healthy environment for productivity.
Right, good. And the next point that you always say is optional, but I don't think it should be optional, but to get a coach or a mentor along the process. Yeah,
well, we talked about this all the time, don't we? And I think more and more people are starting to realize and recognize that, you know what, it does make sense. So 20, 30 years ago, you talk to, certainly in our community, about getting a coach and a mentor, they'd be looking at you like, are you alright? Like you need help, you know? Whereas now, it's like people recognize that actually, it's a wise strategic move. If you are looking for a coach or mentor and you know specifically what you need assistance and support with, getting the right mentor and coach can literally change the trajectory of your life. And I don't know how many people really recognize the importance of that within our community. But I guarantee you, within the next 5 years, you're going to see more and more people making that kind of move, because it's a game changer. It's a game changer. Because here's the thing that people don't recognize. And when I first heard this, I was thinking about it for a while. But say you find a good mentor and he charges you, I don't know, £5,000, £10,000, right? The first thing that people say is, that's a lot of money. But for me, that's a poverty mindset. Because what you need to think about is, if you've done your due diligence and that person's good at what they do, and you've said, listen, I'm going to pay you £10,000 on the condition that this is what I want. Like, can you help me in these areas? And that person says yes. Well, if he's worth, or if she's worth their soul, they're taking your money. They're gonna have to over deliver.
Yeah.
I would want to over deliver, because I wouldn't want you going out and telling people I gave him 10, like, and nothing came back. So this is how people should think about it and look at it.
Okay. Well, that's it.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That was all the points?
That was all the points.
Wow. Okay. So how did you find this week's?
I thought it was good. I am aware of a lot of these principles already, but it's good to have them put in the forefront of my mind every few weeks and do these.
So let me just off the cuff. We might edit this, but let me just, because it's just come to mind. So when it comes to vision, we talk often about religion in terms of we talk about vision in terms of getting your money up, being healthy and abundance and all that kind of stuff. We all know about the vision where that's concerned. I'm interested to know, what's the vision that young people hold when it comes to relationships? Because that thing is crazy right now. We were talking about it off camera, and I hope I haven't put you on the spot. But I just thought, why not put it out there? Like,
I can't answer on behalf of my entire generation.
No.
but I can't answer for myself.
Okay. Okay.
So, your question was, what do people see on?
Well, yeah, because you were telling me the thought process of some females,
Okay.
and some guys, and I guess I'm asking the question to say, does vision actually play a part in the process? That's the serious question I'm asking.
I would say yes. Vision does play a part. However, if you can get a ready-made pie, would you always stick to making your own pie?
If you can get well, see, this is the thing. To get a ready-made pie, yeah, would be, I guess, would be favorable.
Yeah. So in terms of relationships, I'm not going to say all of them, but from some of what I've seen, the vision or the intention is clear and pure. However, the steps throughout the relationship determines whether that vision is feasible or tangible or not.
Okay, so but here's my counter to that. You see, if a person wants a ready-made pie, yeah, then it's not about relationship. It's about what I want. It's about me.
Yeah.
And if it's about me, then it's not about we.
No.
And so if it's not about we, then you're not holding a vision for a we scenario. You're holding a vision for a me scenario.
Yeah.
That's not relationship.
No, it's not.
So maybe that could explain why lots of relationships are going south.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. I'm not in a relationship.
Yeah, but we're talking for the camera. We're talking for the camera, because these questions, I'm being confronted with these questions wherever I go. Young people and old people, more mature people. So that's why I posed it. But hopefully, this whole vision, and that's really where I want to kind of land with this whole topic, is that vision is everything. Whether it be relationships, whether it be getting your money up. And I don't think that we talk about that enough, especially when we were conversating last year and we found out that it's literally written in plain sight in the Bible. Habakkuk 2 verse 2. I'm like, how comes no one showed me this? Because it's written there. Write your vision down, make it plain in all of the important areas of your life. So if you haven't put your vision together, whether it be for your partner, your money, then definitely put that vision to work. Write it down, make it plain, so you know what it is that you're striving for. And if you need some help with that, then you can definitely check us out, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, that's it. I hope that you found today kind of entertaining. I certainly did. It's enough for me, from me, Tony DADA, your soul brother, and Natty, the man. We're done.
Okay, all right. I'll put all the links to the blog down below in the description.
All right. Enough.